This weekend syllabus is like halogens and noble gases. Today and tomorrow, we complete halogens. Wednesday, Thursday, we complete noble gases. Friday, we have a drill. This weekend, complete P block elements of 12th class. Okay, sir? I repeat, noble gases.
Halogens as well as noble gases, sir. Full.
This week, halogens as well as noble gases we try to do. Let me see whether we can do. Definitely we will complete halogens. If possible, we complete noble gases. Okay, sir. I will just wait for a minute so that the admission process will be over. Actually, you are already late. I am waiting for quite some time. Okay. Sir, in the periodic table, what is this group number, sir? What is this group number at least? Sir, this is 13th group, 14th group, 15th group, 16th group, 17th group. Last one is 18th.
दिन में सेट है इनके भी में देखो सब कुछ तो चल में
So, in this group, in the period table, the 17th group elements, namely fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, astatine, they are called halogens. Halo means sea salt. You know, in sea water, for every liter, you have 25 grams of salt. Do you know? Please notice, every liter of seawater contains 25 grams of salt. NaCl. Also, seawater has fluorides. It has bromides. Near seas, there will be some plants. They are called seaweeds. They contain 0.5% iodine. The fluorine is present in rocks as CaF2, known as fluorspar. Also, it is there as Ca3PO4 taken twice CaF2, known as fluoroapatite. Also, these some areas have cryolite Na3AlF6. The fluorine is available by and large as fluoride ions, and the fluoroapatite is required to some extent in the teeth formation. Chlorine is available as NaCl, KCl, MgCl2, 6H2O, known as carnallite. To a small extent, bromides are also available as NaBr, KBr, etc. In this family, astatine is the rarest. It is a metalloid. In this family, there are no metals. It is very easy to study this group. Why? The property is very smoothly changed, no serious exceptions. Melting points, they increase. Boiling points, they increase. Ionization energy, it decreases. electronegativity, it decreases. Oxidizing power, it decreases smoothly, no exceptions, nothing. Densities, they increase. All properties either smoothly increase or smoothly decrease. No confusion, nothing. Also, all these elements have NS2NP5, that is 2S2 2P5 for fluorine, 3S2 3P5 for chlorine, 4S2 4P5 for bromine, 5S2 5P5 for iodine, 6S2 6P5 for astatine. Notice the electronic configuration of these elements have 7 electrons in the valence shell. By gaining one extra electron, they get the configuration of nearest noble gas. So all they readily take 1 electron to become -1 ions. Notice this ability is extraordinarily high to take 1 electron is seen for fluorine. Fluorine is such a powerful gainer of electron. It is the most powerful oxidizing agent. Most interesting point of this family members, all these halogens are colored. It has greenish yellow color, greenish yellow. It is yellowish green. It is a reddish brown. It is deep violet black. It is so violet that it almost looks black. Why all halogens are colored? Anything is colored because if it absorbs a part of visible radiation, it appears in the color of light that it reflects. The valence electrons of these atoms and molecules, they absorb a part of visible radiation and they reflect a color that is complementary to the light it absorbs. For example, fluorine absorbs violet radiation. It reflects greenish yellow radiation, appears greenish yellow. Your iodine absorbs greenish yellow radiation and reflect violet radiation, appears violet in color. Have you noticed? Fluorine is absorbing violet, reflecting greenish yellow. Iodine is absorbing greenish yellow, reflecting violet. Always the color of any material is complementary to the color of light it absorbs. Any two colors, say A and B, are complementary to each other. If you combine them, you should get a white color. So all the halogens are colored because they absorb a part of visible radiation. There is a wonderful question. Why, like fluorine is absorbing violet radiation, fluorine atoms are small. To excite their valence electrons, you require more energy violet radiation. Because it absorbs violet, it appears greenish yellow in color. If you are looking at iodine, iodine atoms are very big. So their valence electrons are loosely held. Hence, low energy green yellow radiation can excite those electrons. Hence, it appears in violet black color. So one can understand why all halogens are colored. Sir, so far we have seen one question. What is the percentage of NaCl present in seawater? 2.5%. How do you know? Because 1 liter of seawater roughly gives 25 grams of salt. Next, why halogens are colored? Because they absorb a part of visible radiation. Which family shows smooth variation in all properties? Halogens. What is a smooth variation in the properties we notice? A, down a group atomic radii increase. B, down a group densities increase. C, down a group melting points increase. D, down a group boiling points increase. There is no exception in this. Smoothly they are increasing. Now the following properties decrease. Down a group, ionization energies decrease. Down a group, the ability to act as oxidizing agent, ability to gain electrons, that will decrease. Metallic nature increase. Their hydrides, acidic strength increase. Their hydrides, reducing power increase. Smooth, there are no exceptions. Everything is very smooth in this family. Now notice, fluorine is the most powerful oxidizing agent in the entire universe. It readily takes 2 electrons from anybody and everybody. It is a very powerful oxidizing agent. Why fluorine is a powerful oxidizing agent? See, first fluorine should break into 2 fluorine atoms. Then each atom should gain electron to become fluoride ion. Once you get fluoride ion, it should happily stay in aqueous solution if you put water as a hydrated ions. Notice, to break FF bond, you will consume energy called bond dissociation enthalpy. When fluorine atom gains an electron, energy is released called electron gain enthalpy. Once it gains electrons, fluoride ion is surrounded by water molecules in water. A lot of energy is released called hydration enthalpy. So whenever you are seeing a negative ion or a positive ion in water, there are 3 stages. First stage, some bond should break. Next stage, the non-metal atom should gain electron. If it is a metal, it will lose electron. Third stage, the F minus ion is surrounded by water molecules called hydration. If it is a metal also, first you should break down the metallic bond, that is called enthalpy of sublimation. If you take sodium, first sodium solid should become sodium atoms. It is called enthalpy of atomization. Once you get sodium, you should make a sodium plus ion because metals have a tendency to lose electron. Again, you consume energy called ionization energy. See, let us take sodium. First sodium solid should become sodium atoms. Energy involved is called enthalpy of atomization. Sodium atoms, generally metals try to lose electrons. They give Na plus ions. This is called enthalpy of ionization. These sodium ions now are surrounded by water molecules. This is called hydration enthalpy. If it is a non-metal like fluorine, first molecule should break into atoms. Then the atoms, they have a tendency to gain electrons to give negative ions. It is called electron gain enthalpy. Once you have a negative ion in water, it will be surrounded by water molecules. It is called hydration enthalpy. There are 3 types of energy changes. First one is bond dissociation enthalpy or bond energy. See, there are 3 steps. In non-metal, you should first break the bond between atoms. Second step, the non-metals have a tendency to gain electron. When electron is gained, there is an energy change. The F minus is then surrounded by water molecules. It is called hydration. Sum of these 3 energy changes or sum of these 3 energy changes is called as the electrode potential. What is it called, sir? Electrode potential. The electrode potentials indicate the ability of a fellow to gain electrons. The ability of Na plus to gain electrons. The ability of fellows to gain electrons is called a reduction potential. Reduction potential. If you carry out this measurement in 1 molar solution at 298 K and 1 atmosphere pressure, it is called standard reduction potential, SRP. What is SRP? SRP is a measure for the ability of a species to gain electrons. It can be like fluorine gaining 1 electron to become F minus, or it can be Na plus gaining 1 electron to become Na, anything. Ability of, I will write down, ability any chemical species, I am using term chemical species like fluorine atom or like Na plus or like Ag plus, etc. Anybody to gain electron is called reduction potential. If you consider 1 molar solution at standard temperature and pressure, then it is standard reduction potential, SRP. Sir, if you are looking at SRP of fluorine plus 2.9 volts, if you look at the SRP of copper plus 0.34 volts, if you look at SRP of, say, silver plus 0.8 volts, if you look at SRP of sodium, it is minus 3.01 volts. Now, if you look at this list, which fellow has highest ability to gain electrons? Normally, SRP we consider for uni-positive ions of metals, because only metal positive ions have tendency to gain electrons. Non-metals as such can gain electron to become F minus, Cl minus, minus ions. Sir, now if you look at the SRPs, can you observe which has highest positive SRP? So fluorine is most powerful electron gainer, that is oxidizing agent. If you are looking at sodium, its electrode potential is such a large value, it never likes to gain electrons. Instead, sodium can lose electrons easily, as indicated by negative SR. The more negative it is, more steadily electrons are lost by atom. It means it tries to give these ions. These ions never like to take electrons. Anybody who is liking to lose electrons to become uni-positive ion, di-positive ion is called electron loser or reducing agent. Therefore, in this family, if I look at the fluorine, the bromine, the iodine, all have a tendency to gain electrons. They have positive reduction potentials. All non-metals, they have positive reduction potentials. Reduction potential, I mean, how easily molecule will break into atoms, how easily they gain electron. Once they gain electron, the negative ion, how greatly that is stabilized by water. Put together, reduction potential is positive for all these elements. Of all these, fluorine is the most powerful oxidizing agent, followed by chlorine, followed by bromine, followed by iodine. So all these elements, without any exception, are powerful oxidizing agents. How powerful they are? I would say that if I put fluorine in water, urgently water will be broken down to give H plus O2 and I happily get 4 F minus. See, 4 fluorine atoms are gaining 4 electrons from water molecules, so that water is shaved of 4 electrons. Actually, in water, the oxygen is minus 2. The oxygen which had 2 electrons extra will be losing the 2 electrons to fluorine. 4 fluorines will gain those 4 electrons. So they convert water into oxygen. It means water is oxidized by fluorine to give oxygen. If you put more fluorine, even water can be oxidized to give ozone. There is no other chemical which can do this miracle. Fluorine is a powerful oxidizing agent which can take electrons even from water. Other than fluorine, nobody else can do this. Down a group, this ability to take away electrons from water, oxidizing power will decrease. If I put chlorine in water, chlorine can become HCl and HOCl. HOCl eventually can become HCl and a nascent oxide. Notice chlorine is oxidizing water to a small extent. Even bromine can do this to a very small extent. Iodine can never do this. Iodine plus water, no reaction. In fact, if we look at this reaction, sir, please look at this reaction of fluorine. Fluorine plus water gives 4H plus O2 plus 4F minus. If you are looking at iodine, iodine can never give this reaction. Impossible. Instead, this reaction can happen in the reverse direction. It means iodide ions can lose electrons if I am adding oxygen and H plus ions to give you iodine and water. Kindly notice, sir, fluorine is the most powerful oxidizing agent. It can take away electrons from water. But down the group, iodine is not such a powerful oxidizing agent. It cannot really take electrons from water. Whatever is happening for fluorine, reverse is happening for iodine. It means fluorine can react with water to give H plus and F minus and oxygen. Whereas I minus can react with oxygen of air and H plus ions to give back the I2 and water. The ability to oxidize is decreasing down a group. And also I would like to point out all these halogens have a tendency to gain electrons to become X minus ions. Fluorine can show only one oxidation state, only -1. That's all. Fluorine can be either 0 in elemental form or -1, no other way. But if we are looking at chlorine or bromine or iodine, they can show -1 state, 0 state, +1 state, +3 state, +7 state. So many oxidation states they are showing. It means that chlorine has ability to show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 oxidation states. Why fluorine is able to show so many oxidation states? Why bromine is able to show so many oxidation states? Why iodine is able to show so many oxidation states? Why not fluorine? Fluorine cannot show more than one oxidation state because fluorine does not have d orbitals in valence shell. Fluorine, bromine, iodine, they all have empty d orbitals in valence shell. If I am looking at the electronic configuration, S2, P5. For chlorine, 3s2, 3p5, 3d0. If I draw diagram, 3s2, 3p5, 3d0. Now, what happens is if I give a little bit energy of excitation, this pair opens up and comes here. Normally, this has one unpaired electron. But when the electron pair opens up, it got opened up and it has come. Whenever an electron pair opens up, you get 3 unpaired electrons. So it can show oxidation state 3. Now, if you give a little more energy, even this electron gets unpaired. If that electron gets unpaired, next energy level is filled. Now it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unpaired. If you give a little more energy, still again this electron pair gets opened up. It means fluorine can show only -1 state, no d orbitals, whereas chlorine, bromine, iodine, they have empty d orbitals into which electrons can get unpaired. 1 pair, 2 pair, 3 pair. As the number of unpaired electrons increase, they will be able to show more oxidation states. So the halogens can show oxidation states like +1, +3, +5, and +. Fluorine can show only -1. As usual in every family, the first member fluorine behaves differently from the rest of the members because of the small size, absence of d orbitals, and high electronegativity. That is the most electronegative element in the period. Fluorine will never make double bond or triple bond with anyone. Notice, they make oxides of different formula. For example, the fluorine can make O2F2 and OF2. So this is called carbon dioxide. This is called sulfur dioxide. It is called nitrogen dioxide. It is called calcium oxide. Okay, oxide. Why we are calling oxide means here oxygen is getting somewhat negative charge, other fellow gets some positive charge. Always in any oxide, oxygen gets minus charge and the other elements get plus charge. But in the compounds of oxygen and fluorine, oxygen cannot get a negative charge, only fluorine gets minus charge. Why like that? Because fluorine is most electronegative than all other elements. So it will try to keep the electron pair close to itself. So in oxygen fluorine compounds, fluorine gets minus charge, oxygen gets plus charge. A compound is oxide as long as oxygen has minus charge. It is an oxide because oxygen has minus charge. It is an oxide because oxygen has minus charge. Oxygen has minus charge. It is an oxide because oxygen has minus charge. As long as oxygen is having minus charge, compound is called oxide. As long as sulfur has minus charge, compound is called sulfide. Oxide, compound with negative charge on oxide. Sulfide, compound with negative charge on sulfur. Phosphide, compound with phosphorus on negative charge. But compound of oxygen and fluorine cannot be called as oxide. Why, sir? Why I can't call O2F as fluorine oxide? Why I can't call O2F2 as oxide? Can you answer this question? Why OF2 and O2F2 cannot be taken as oxides? Sir, are you able to see this question, sir? Why OF2, O2F2 cannot be taken as oxides means in these compounds, oxygen is having positive charge and fluorine is having minus charge. Therefore, they have no respect of oxide. In fact, they are called oxygen fluorides. Always in any compound, if fluorine is there, it will be fluoride. Fluorine gets minus charge. So it is wrong to call O2F2, OF2 as oxides because of this problem. Can I call then fluorine compounds with oxygen as oxides? Cl2O, ClO2, Cl2O, 6, Cl2O7. Definitely these are oxides. The stability of oxides is oxygen oxides are more stable than Br. Notice bromine oxides are least stable. Iodine oxides are most stable. Fluorine is lying in between. These many oxides fluorine can never give. F cannot make. Oxides. Other than O2F2, OF2. Fluorine cannot expand its covalence beyond 1 because no d orbitals. Fluorine can never take positive charge. And fluorine oxygen compounds can never be called as oxides. They should be called as fluorides. All other halogens can make oxides. The order of stability of oxides is like this. It is called middle group anomaly. Notice that iodine is more stable, bromine is least stable. And in these oxides of iodine are very, very important. ClO2 is widely used in paper industry and also ivory industry as a bleach. It is called chlor. Euchlor is used to remove colors in industry. It is a bleach. That's a quick note on halogen family. Now we are going to explore the textbook. Let us give a pause. Let us give a pause for a minute, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the topic under discussion is halogens. Chlorine, bromine, iodine. All are colored. All are dangerously, irritatingly smelled. Chlorine are gases at room temperature. Bromine is a liquid at room temperature. Iodine is a solid at room temperature. All they combine with hydrogen. The order of reactivity, fluorine is more than, chlorine is more than, bromine is more than iodine. Their hydrates are good acids. HF, HCl, HBr, HI. In these acids, HI is the most powerful acid. So, down a group, the ability to form hydrates decrease. Down a group, the MH bond becomes weak. Down a group, the acidic strength increase. Down a group, the reducing power of hydrates increase. No exception. Only one bit that shows exception. Only one area where there is deviation. Only one area. Only one area where there is deviation is electron gain enthalpy. Chlorine electron gain enthalpy is greater than fluorine, which is greater than. Why fluorine has lowest electron gain enthalpy? Why fluorine is not happy whenever it takes one electron? Because it is a very small atom. Added electron is repelled by existing electrons. Though its electron gain enthalpy is less than that of fluorine, but fluorine is the best oxidizing agent. Also in bond energy, there is slight variation. Bond energy of fluorine is greater than bromine. This is greater than fluorine. In the family of halogens, that which has lowest bond energy is I2 iodine. Notice why it is easy to break FF bond, because F atoms are very small. Bonded electron pair and a lone pair of electrons are very close. They try to repel and break the bond. The order of bond energy is to be remembered. So that is a note on bond energy. Today we have discussed the following ideas, sir. What are halogens? Halos means sea salt, gen means generator. These are sea salt generators known as fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine. Yes, sir. I want you to kindly examine, sir. Take a deep breath, release slowly. We try to look at the lesson. Sir, is one of the easiest lessons, sir. Very, very easy. No difficulty really. Very, very easy lesson. You can simply read without any difficulty. The name of this is group 17th elements are halogens. This is the last but one group in the periodic table. And all these are non-metals. There is no metal. Last fellow is metalloid. These are the natural occurring ores. You have to remember these names like cryolite, fluorspar, fluoroepitite, carnallite. So, notice that atomic number down a group increases, no exception. Atomic mass down a group increases, no exception. The electron configuration, the outer level NS2, NP5, where N can be 2, 3, 4, 5 respectively for fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine as type. Ionic radius increases down a group. Ionization enthalpy decreases down a group. Only irregularity is seen in electron gain enthalpy. Fluorine is less than chlorine but greater than bromine and iodine. Electron activity is smoothly decreasing. Hydration energy of halide ions. Hydration energy is highest for fluoride ion and least for iodide ion. Melting points increase down a group, boiling points increase down a group, densities increase down a group, MM bond length increases down a group, but there is irregularity and bond dissociation energy. This is important. Bond dissociation energy order, chlorine is greater than bromine, bromine is greater than fluorine, fluorine is greater than iodine. Electrode potentials, they are decreasing. The more positive the electrode potential is, more powerful oxidizing agent. Fluorine is a powerful oxidizing. All this is the pattern they described once again. In this paragraph, they said why halogens are colored. I said they are colored because they absorb a part of visible radiation. Why it is easy to break FF bond than CL-Cl bond? Because of small atomic size. Because of repulsions between bond pair and lone pair. What are the various oxidation states shown by chlorine, bromine, iodine? Excitation. The reaction between fluorine and other halides. Whenever fluorine F2 is there with chloride, bromide, iodide, anybody, it will take negative charge electron, throw out fellow as X2. If you take chlorine, it can remove electron from other halides like bromide and iodide, not from fluoride. If you take bromine, it can remove electron only from iodide. So every top halogen can remove electrons from bottom halogen. It is a reaction that shows why fluorine is a good oxidizing agent. It is an equation that shows that fluorine is oxidizing water to give oxygen. Why fluorine is anomalous. Note on hydrides. Please read up to this point today. Tomorrow, we are going to look at even oxides you can cover today. All the halogens can react with metals to give halides. For example, Na plus chlorine gives NaCl. Tin plus